everyone, it's Marissa with Bumblebee Apothecary. Welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to show you how to make a simple and delicious GAPS pancake recipe. So this is a recipe that I like to use for when pancakes are introduced in stage 5 of the GAPS introduction diet. In the book, Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride recommends adding nut butter into the pancakes, and you're free to do that, but I personally really like this really simple recipe that just includes the cooked squash, eggs, and a pinch of salt. So let's jump in and get started. The first thing that I'm going to be doing is to be heating my cast iron skillet on my stove burner here, and I'm going to be using tallow for my cooking fat. I have lots of videos where I talk about tallow on my channel, and I'll link some of those below, but basically it is a very healthy fat, very gentle on the body. It's not going to upset anybody who's trying to heal their gut on the GAPS diet. It has so many amazing health benefits, and it's a great cooking fat. So I'm going to add some of that to my pan to get that started melting, just enough to give a light coating on the cast iron pan for the pancakes to cook in. While that is melting, I'm going to start mixing up the pancakes. So I like to use 1 egg per about 1 cup of cooked squash. I have this acorn squash here that I've already baked in the oven. I bake it at about 400 degrees for 45 minutes or so until it's nice and soft. Scoop it out of the peel, and then it's ready to use for this recipe. So I'm going to start by adding the amount that I want into my mixing bowl. I think that amount looks good. It's about 3 cups, I would say, of squash, give or take a little bit. Next, I'm going to crack my eggs into a separate pitcher and beat them a little bit before I add them to my mixing bowl. Beat those a little bit with a whisk, and then add them to the squash. At this point, I'm just going to add a little pinch of salt. I like to do that just to kind of bring out the flavors a little bit. Then I'm just going to mix my squash and eggs together thoroughly. Another way you can do this is to mix in a blender or even a food processor, but we're just keeping this really simple today, showing you how easy it is, and just mixing in a bowl with a spoon. Alright, so that looks good. Next, I am going to start cooking them. So I'm going to make sure that my skillet is warm enough. Medium heat is usually a good place to start, and then you might need to lower your heat a little bit as they get cooking to make sure that they're not cooking too fast. And then all you need to do is just drop some into the pan. If you're used to cooking wheat flour pancakes, you'll notice that these take a little bit longer to cook through than traditional wheat flour pancakes, so just keep that in mind. And you can see that they're bubbling nicely and cooking. So we're gonna let these cook until all of the little bubbles that you can see rise to the surface of the pancakes have popped, and I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit. At that point, they'll be ready to flip. Okay, so you can see that the bubbles that were rising to the top are all pretty much popped, and if you look underneath, they look done underneath, so we're going to go ahead and flip them. There we go. Okay, so then we're just going to let these cook on the other side. Okay, so these look like they're pretty much done. I'm going to go ahead and take them off and put them onto a plate. And there they are, all ready to go. These are really delicious as they are, just with a little bit of fat on the top, like ghee, duck fat, tallow, whatever fat your body is enjoying and tolerating well at this time. Once fruit and honey are introduced, then those are really delicious to eat on top of these. You can also do some fresh berries and some sour cream. There's quite a few different ways that you can enjoy them. They're a really nice thing to start adding in. You can have them for breakfast, obviously, or for snacks, or add them to other meals. They're great for if you're feeling hungry all the time and you're wanting to bulk up, maybe gain some weight, and looking for really filling things to be eating. I remember pancakes were something that I went to a lot for that when I was on the introduction stages. So I hope that you enjoyed seeing how simple and easy it is to make these GAPS pancakes, and I hope that you give it a try. If you have any questions about anything, let me know in the comments below. I'm also going to put a link below to the blog post that has a printable recipe card there if you want to grab that. I have lots of other videos where I talk about the GAPS diet and lots of resources and recipes over on my blog, and I'm going to put some links to those in the description box where you can check those out. I also wanted to mention that I have a free GAPS diet kitchen checklist. It's a really handy printable checklist that just goes over everything that you need to make sure that you have in your kitchen before you start the GAPS diet, and then a few things that you want to make sure you don't use or get rid of. So it's really handy, free, printable checklist. I'll put a link also in the description box below where you can find that. All right, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with anybody that you think might find it interesting or helpful. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I make new videos every week on traditional health wisdom and living a sustainable DIY lifestyle. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.